Hello and welcome to our presentation. We are the Purple Squad, and we would like to thank you for letting us observe and analyze your company over the last couple weeks. And we are very happy to present what we have for you guys today. So we're going to be going over some positive areas and some problem areas that we saw as we analyzed Apple over these last 8 weeks. And towards the end of the presentation, we're going to go over some of the recommendations that we have for improvement. So I would like to start off by introducing myself. My name is Ryan Ellenberger.
Hello, I'm Keely Wolf.
Hi, I'm Cameron Stryker.
Hi, I'm Jared Chacon.
Hi, I'm Mason Wood.
Hi, and I'm Devin Jan.
So over these next several slides, we're going to do this over a preview. We're going to go over the method, analysis, and our observations throughout this company. We're also going to touch base on the positive areas across the board, as well as the negative areas and different social media platforms. We're also going to give those recommendations as well as we were stated in the beginning. So let's go over those next few slides together.
So first off, we have our methods and analysis. So we use the same three methods through TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Those were graphing, monitoring, amount of posts, and as we did that, that's how we were able to compile all of our data through all four of the social media platforms we analyzed.
So there were multiple positives on Facebook's social media. The visual components were very major with their social media, although they did that by posting a lot on their profile pictures and cover photos. They a lot of times just showed their new products, which was very beneficial to just showcase that. That also gives them easy sales as well as the engagement with their company and their coworkers as well as consumers, and they had a large following on that basis as a positive on Facebook social media.
So we analyzed a lot of positive areas on TikTok because TikTok was one of the most downloaded apps in 2020, and they actually had about 800 million users monthly, which is an incredible number. So on TikTok, there are 5 main advertising services that they provide, and Apple is very good at using 3 of those. The first one are the in-feed ads. These are ads that appear in between the normal user-created videos. And so basically when you're in the app and you're watching TikTok, a normal video will pop up, and in the middle, an ad will pop up. And so Apple does very good at these. These ads are typically 9 to 15 seconds long. And these are a very effective form of ad because the normal TikTok users can comment, like, share, and interact on any one of these videos. So it basically makes it a normal video that's part of your feed, but it serves as an ad. So I think that TikTok does a very good job with their in-feed ads. Probably the most effective type of ad on TikTok is the brand takeover ad. And these are ads that appear before you even enter into the app. These are ads that as soon as you open up the app, it is right there and it's basically right in your face. So it's a very good type of ad. And this is one of TikTok's best options because it delivers mass awareness and drives direct sales since you can place your message right in front of your audience. And this app this type of ad, I wanted to do a little study of. So I entered the app 30 times. This is apart from just entering the app normally. I entered the app 30 times, I closed it down, and I opened it back up 30 times in a row. And 19 of those 30 times, a brand takeover ad popped up. And half of those 19 times, it was an ad from Apple. So 8 times out of 30, Apple had an ad as a brand takeover ad. This is an incredible number, especially considering the fact that TikTok has 800 million monthly users. And the third type of ad that TikTok does very well with are the branded hashtag challenges. These are basically the most unique ad that I have ever seen. And these are one of a kind to TikTok. And these even show up on TikTok's discovery page. These are a great way to encourage user generated content. And this is also, it's an extremely fun type of ad. So this is a great way for Apple to integrate themselves into the TikTok culture and community. So when a user clicks on a sponsored hashtag, it brings them to that page. And on this page, you'll see the brand logo. You'll see a link to their website, a description of the challenge, and popular videos using the hashtag. So the last two bullet points in the presentation in this slide are about these hashtags that they created. And Apple did a great job with, in particular, the Make It Mini challenge. And this challenge, basically, you take a normal object, for example, like this pen, and you have a big, massive version of it. And you do some sort of transition effect, and it makes it a normal or mini pen, like a smaller one. And at the end of the video, they did it with the iPhone 12. They did the transition effect, and it was an iPhone 12 mini. And this hashtag has 5 billion views on the app, which is an unreal amount. And as a company, you guys are doing a great job being able to communicate with your audiences using these challenges and these advertising services that TikTok provides.
Alrighty, there were a few positives on Instagram. As you know, just looking at it and monitoring with your guys' social media on Instagram, you guys do have a large following. And I do believe that ties in with the creative and colorful posts. You guys do have a lot of advertisement with your guys' cameras on the phones. And with that, you guys do have creating unique hashtags. There is one in the bio to just help everyone feel comfortable in telling their own stories, because we do have our own stories with growing up. And with the hashtags, that created a lot of engagement with the employment, like the CEO, with corporate, and the followers. That creates losing a lot of the engagement with the hashtags, and creating unique and creative captions within your posts. That was a great thing to kind of with Instagram to create a lot of engagement and make sure that everyone can go to that page and feel comfortable with all the colors and the really cool places that the pictures are taken. And it also shows a lot of diversity. You got Instagram and Apple, you guys take pride with showing that you guys you love diversity, and you're going to try to help in a way with the hashtags and the creative captions to promote diversity.
So some of the positives that we analyzed on Twitter, one of the biggest things is that advertisements are very natural within the social feed. So if a user is going through their feed naturally, just during lunch, their lunch break or something like that, the advertisements are going to pop up, and they're really not even going to know it's an advertisement. So it allows them to engage with it more because they don't know it's an advertisement. And because of that, they get very straight and to the point, and that is a very good thing, because when as many people are looking at the advertisements as they are, and when they don't know that they're not a natural part of their feed, it's best to get to the point. And that's exactly what Apple does. If it's an advertisement about one of their TV shows coming out on Apple TV, you're going to know that that's exactly what it is, versus if it's a product like the iPhone 12 or something like that.
As Mason just touched on, it's very easy to interact with Apple on Twitter. You can interact in several different ways. 4 in particular. First, you have the retweet, which basically takes their post and shows it to all of your followers. That way they can all see what Apple posted as well. Next, you have the like, which is just a way you can show some support to the company. And comments is you speaking directly to the company under their post, so they're able to see it. And Apple engages every once in a while with those people in the comment section. And then lastly, there's something called a quote tweet, which kind of combines the retweet concept of showing your followers what Apple did, as well as you being able to add your own caption or comment in addition to what Apple said. And then they're also very good with caption visibility. This is more Twitter-based, but what it does is it makes it easier for all users who are following Apple to see not only the visual, but the text that's tied to the visual is directly above it, whereas other platforms, it might kind of blend in with the visual itself. So it's easier for you to be able to see the distinction between the text and what they're trying to tell you, and the visual, what they want you to see.
So I wanted to take some time to talk about some graphs that we saw, especially with the potential of social media advertising. So over the next couple slides, we're going to show some graphs and we're going to analyze them and show what we saw and what we liked. So basically in this graph, it's showing the potential of social media advertising. It shows on one bar the revenue of social media ads in 2017, as we see here. And it shows the revenue in the United States, in China, and in Europe. Right here up top, we have the faded colors are desktop users. So obviously they're lower. Not many people are getting onto social media through desktop. But in the solid colors, we have mobile, and that is where social media is really thriving. So this is for all companies, the revenue that they earned off of social media, off of their ads on social media, rather, in 2017. The next bar is the projected growth in 2022. And we see substantial gain in revenue over these 5 years. And the potential of social media advertising is just obvious in all of the countries. In the United States, it's especially prominent. In China, it is projected to more than double by 2022. And in Europe, it's also expected to about double as well. So the potential in social media advertising is there, but we need to make sure that we are capitalizing on the opportunity and making sure we're doing it well. So I think that with the potential that's there, that there's a very good amount of benefits that Apple could receive just by advertising on social media. So we're going to go to the next couple slides and analyze a little bit further why this is so important.
So we went over the revenue model over 10 years. And for that decade of Apple revenue, we went from 43 billion in 2009 to 260 billion in 2019. So readily that has been increasing over the years. There has been some pitfalls, but mainly increasing in their revenue. So as you can see, your social media has really been beneficial. But since it is so important, especially with technology now, to continue with your advertising and to kind of get your product more out there, that means this revenue will increase even more exponentially with the more following you get, the more products you sell, the more you continue to post. So we're going to go over some of the negatives as well, since we are looking at this revenue throughout the decade. Since it's so readily climbing and so steadily, we're going to see how we could improve those in the next few slides.
So right here, we have two more graphs. And this first graph right here on the left shows the unit sales of Apple iPhone worldwide from 2007 to 2018, so a span of 11 years. As we see, we're just about rock bottom in 2007. But when we get to 2018, it shows an incredible amount of growth. And if we go back to the previous slide, then we see that the amount of revenue is also correlated with the amount of sales that iPhone has in total. So this is only iPhone, and there were 217.72 million iPhones sold in 2018, which is a great number. Then if we look on the right side, we also see a very interesting graph. The right graph shows the number of people using social media platforms from 2004 to 2019. We see apps such as Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Snapchat. These are the biggest social media platforms right now in the world. And we see an exponential amount of growth in each one of them. Recently, right here, we see TikTok that's spiking. We see Facebook with over 2 billion users. We see YouTube getting to 2 billion users. And this was taken in 2019. So who knows where we're at now in 2020. So there is a direct correlation between the amount of iPhones that you guys are selling, the revenue that you guys are gaining, and the amount of people that's using social media platforms. The more that Apple continues to post things such as ads, utilizing in-feed ads on every single one of these apps, the more money there is to be made and the more sales we're going to have, and everything only goes up from here. So I thought that these two were very interesting graphs. It shows the direct correlation between the number of sales that we're having, the revenue that Apple is gaining, and the amount of people that's using social media. So there is definite potential for growth, and it's only up from here.
So going over the negatives on Facebook, I do believe that we could truly benefit by having a lot more posts since it is so minimal. And as you can see with the photo, there is really just posting over a cover photo or changing even just your profile picture for you to make your sales. So just using pictures and not really even adding a caption, like I have no idea what we are selling or what we should be selling. And so since there are no captions, it's very confusing. Like I definitely see the picture, it's very intriguing, but I do want to know more. I also feel like we shouldn't just be updating our profile picture. We really should make those posts so that people can share them with people outside. And when they are sharing our photos, we should make sure that we do have our captions so that people do get more intrigued to know more. Like introducing the new Apple speaker. This will give you this and this and this benefit. You can even talk to it. So I believe just giving those extra captions, maybe more pictures, even more just readily communication with post instead of just pictures would be really beneficial on a Facebook ad, because since we do have over 2 billion people using Facebook, I feel like we could really skyrocket even more with our sales because more people would be intrigued by Apple when they do search us if we just put a little bit more effort.
As far as the negatives on Twitter go, one of the biggest things that we tend to struggle with is the lack of information on Apple's Twitter profile. So if a user is going to Apple's Twitter profile looking for more information about a product, unfortunately, they're not going to find anything there because there's nothing there. All of the advertisements that Apple posts are considered regular tweets, but they're actually blacked out from their profile. So nobody's actually able to see them unless it pops up on their feed as an advertisement. And a lot of that is due to the algorithm, which kind of sends different ads to different people. So somebody who, watches a lot more sports is going to get a lot more sports centric ads versus somebody who plays more video games that'll get more video game centered ads. So the algorithm kind of keeps all of the Apple advertisements from getting to reach everybody because not everybody is into the same thing. So even people who have a Samsung may not get the Apple advertisements because the algorithm says they have a Samsung. So it's not able to reach everybody, and it would be better if those advertisements were available on their profile because you would be able to share and all that sorts of stuff. Another thing is that they don't advertise the new products well, and that kind of goes into the lack of information, is that there's not any information about new products. And even in the advertisements that show up on the social feed, a lot of it was more centered towards their subscription-based services like Apple TV and stuff like that, but not directly towards the newer products. For example, the Apple AirPods Max, there was no advertisements for that, but there were advertisements for multiple Apple TV shows. So we need to have more advertisement towards the newer products because people are going to see that, and especially on their regular feed, they're going to be interested in it and they're going to want to buy it.
So you guys also have disappearing and infrequent posting. As you mentioned with the blacked out posts, even when that main Apple account does post, it often gets deleted very soon after that. And other than that, all the other accounts such as Apple Music and those types of things, they often only have a few posts more than the main account. And that just leads to people not being able to see your stuff more often, as opposed to being able to just see it every day if you guys were more up to date with the posting. And another negative is that Twitter itself is on the lower end of the social media platform users. So as the graph off to the left shows, Twitter only has 353 million users. And while that might sound like a lot, it's almost completely at the bottom of the social media platform usage. Whereas other systems such as Facebook has 2.7 billion users. Instagram has 1.2 billion. And even TikTok, who's fairly new, has 689 million users, and they're growing pretty fast. So with the ads, it comes out is that if you guys don't have celebrities involved in your advertisements, then you often get very little engagement because there's so few people on the platform as it is. Whereas if you are able to have a celebrity in there, you're getting more people on, but it still isn't the lion's share of the amount of people on Twitter.
So the performance of you guys on TikTok is pretty incredible. It seems that Apple is doing just about everything right on TikTok. And especially considering the fact that it is increasing in popularity, it goes to show how well that Apple is doing. And so I wanted to talk about just some negatives that were analyzed on TikTok. There is some that have to do with in-feed ads. So in-feed ads, as much as they are a positive thing, they can also be very, very, very controversial and very hard to manage, because an in-feed ad is essentially just a normal video. It is an ad, but it shows up to the user as a normal video. So what can happen is that person can see that it's an ad, the user, and just scroll immediately. And within 3 seconds, that ad is forgotten. The person doesn't even remember what it was. And so it makes it really hard here, as we see in the second bullet point. It makes it hard to focus on the product itself because of the instantaneous nature of TikTok. It's hard to really capture the audience's attention, especially if it's an ad, especially if it's in the middle of a bunch of normal videos and an ad shows up, the user is inclined to just skip the video. So what really needs to be focused on is how to improve the catchiness of a video. And we see here that this is a picture of a version of an in-feed ad for the iPhone 12 mini. The iPhone 12 mini was only shown for about 3 seconds on screen in this ad at the very end. So the audience isn't even seeing what the product is until the last 3 seconds of the video. And by that time, the majority have probably already skipped the video. So this is a negative when it comes to the in-feed ads. As much as they are a great thing, the users can comment. We see 129,000 people have liked this post. It also is very, very difficult to keep the audience engaged in what the product is and what are the specs of the product and what you guys are actually selling to them.
After monitoring Instagram, there was a lot of positives, but as you can see with the picture on the right, the Instagram does show that it's very hard on sales. With that being said, there's little to no advertisement on the Instagram with the new product. After monitoring the Instagram for the past couple weeks, I saw maybe 2 advertisements about the iPhone 12, the AirPods, and it's kind of like crappy that the fact that a lot of people are going to go on Instagram and look on either our page or even the advertisement to see what's up and coming with the new iPhone 12, with the mini or the Pro Max. And it sucks that that the viewers and the large following can't really see what's coming, what's going on with the new product. And with that, there's only posts of pictures of people and places. There's no pictures of the new AirPods, the new phones, or really any of Apple's products on the page. It really only advertises the good and amazing camera quality of the phones. Yes, the iPhones do have amazing quality, but let's try to show the camera, like what phone that camera is on, whether that's the 7 Plus or the new iPhone 12. And that tags along with the no post on the new product, as well as there is the lack of information in bio and captions on new product. When you look through each post, there's not really a post or information on new products. The only really reason that you would see a comment on the new product is if you replied to a follower on a comment and you said something about a new product, or you liked a comment that is advertising, like that you have a consumer that is advertising the product on their own. That we could really work on that, because if with Instagram is one of the very popular platforms of social media. Having better advertisements and more pictures on product can really up the sales.
So in this last part of the presentation, we really wanted to take some time to talk about what recommendations we have as a group for your company. And we see a couple of recommendations for improvement over all of the social media platforms. And we're just going to take a little bit of time to talk about each one. So there is a version, or there is a service that TikTok provides that is called the branded effects advertising. So basically this branded effects service includes things like stickers and shareable filters and little animations that you can put on posts. And although Apple does very good with the in-feed ads, with the branded takeover ads, and with the hashtag challenges, one thing that you could do better is using the branded services, because of the instantaneous nature of TikTok, it is kind of hard to see whether or not a video is made by Apple, other than a little symbol in the bottom right corner for the music, or maybe the product is shown at the very end. So if we use some stickers to show that it is a Apple video, because the Apple logo is very easily recognized throughout the world, then that makes the hard to recognize videos very recognizable for people, and they would realize that they are Apple videos. So these two bullet points kind of tie in hand to hand. Those stickers and filters would be a really good thing for creators to use. And it's very easy. A creator can go and they can pick a filter for a video that has to do with Apple, and boom, it's as easy as that. An advertisement is made for Apple because of a simple sticker or a filter. This is an easy thing to add, and this is an easy thing to work with for creators. So you guys have an app called Clips that isn't that well known, but that could be very well known if used right. TikTok is all about editing videos and making great transitions for videos and making them look as best as possible to catch the attention of the viewer. If you guys put a little bit more work into the Clips app, which is a video editing app, and maybe collaborate with TikTok, then it is a very easy platform for creators to edit videos on for TikTok. They don't have to use any outside service other than Apple. You guys could really take advantage of how easy it is to use Clips and advertise it a little bit better on TikTok and other platforms.
So following with that, I really think that we could be really beneficial on Facebook, since they do have so many consumers and different people on that viewing platform. I would like to see actual posts instead of just updated photos. I think we could really be beneficial with that, because since so many people already have Apple products, it would make it easier to show up in their feed as just a regular photo anyways, instead of just updating your photo, because I have never once gotten an actual advertisement from your Apple page. I've gotten random ones throughout Facebook, but it's never through your actual Apple page, which I think you guys could really rack up some revenue on that, because Facebook has such a large following, and you guys already have that large following just because consumers already really like your products. So in order to get new consumers, I think it would be more beneficial to actually put a post or show it in a public feed instead of harboring it to only the people that follow you on that page.
So as far as recommendations go for Twitter, one of the biggest things I would say was just allowing users to be able to see all of Apple's posts. So those advertisements that are blacked out on their page and are only available on the social feed should be available on their profile, so that everybody's able to look for them or look at them, and any information that they need on any products are going to be there. And naturally, that's going to put more posts on the Twitter page, and it's also going to allow more people to share the posts as well, and it kind of gets rid of the algorithm and makes it so Apple, we won't have to worry about the algorithm anymore, because so many people are just sharing the regular posts that are already posted. And with that, they also don't come out as advertisements anymore, and they really just are part of everyone's social feed, and it allows for much more engagement because it's just a part of their feed and people are engaging and talking on it. So overall, just posting more and allowing people to see those posts will really up the engagement and really help out with getting products out there and Apple TV shows out there and letting people know that they're out there and ready for them to use.
Awesome. and popping up with that, with Instagram, showing a lot of emphasis on Instagram, showing that they value their customers and they value their products with, recommending their new products, recommending the new iPhone, the new speaker, whatever the case may be, whatever the case may be, that with a product that has just recently come out, and kind of showing their engagement with a lot more followers. And because Instagram, you guys do have a lot of following on that social media platform, and with showing a little bit more emphasis with their following and with their new product will definitely skyrocket the sales and their page and a lot of the advertising on their page on Instagram. And with that, with this slide, we are coming to an end with the conclusions and findings. And the company is only continuing to grow. Alongside the growth is a growing potential for Apple's marketing and advertising strategies on social media. The company's presence on social media is strong, but there are a few easy steps that can be taken to maximize the efficiency and overall image of Apple's online. If the recommendations provided are put in practice, the sky's the limit. On all social media platforms, we can skyrocket with advertisements, sales, algorithms, posts. Nothing can kind of trump it. We can definitely have the sky's the limit.
So going over the appendix, this is mainly where we got most of our information from. Also just from visually seeing how your social media is. Since we did take the time to go over that and give you some recommendations, we would like to thank you for giving us this opportunity to share this with you, and we are so grateful for your time. We would like to leave these last few minutes for you, and thank you so much for your time.